Change is the only constant, said the famous Greek philosopher Erasiticus. And this stands true not only in the world of philosophy, but national development, where innovation has proven itself as the heart that pumps economic growth and job creation. Governments and public service organizations globally seek creativity across all social, political, environmental, and technological spaces, reiterating that staying the same is not an option. On this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda, we look at what the country is doing and how it is positioning itself for the future by accelerating innovation. You will be with me, Naringwa Fiona Muthoni. To match the needs of the markets of the world and the nation, the CEO of the Rwanda Development Board joined us to elaborate on the country's approach to balancing the support needed by entrepreneurs of the region with adding modern opportunities to ensure no one is left behind.
If you look at Rwanda, 12 million people, small country, we also have to keep innovating how we are going to grow and develop. And I think also developing an innovation city is one of innovating how our economy is going to grow. Our aspiration is to create a new area where we can drive value for our economy. And so infrastructure, such as the ones that we're in today, the whole ecosystem of building that aspiration is something that we're working on today.
One way Rwanda is doing that is through the creation of the Kigali Innovation City, set to be a world-class innovation hub. In December 2021, Africa 50, the government of Rwanda through the Rwanda Development Board and the Ministry of ICT and Innovation unveiled the urban master plan for the development of the projects.
What we signed with Africa 50 initially was an agreement to collaborate together. And so we've been working since then in 2019 until today to really develop the project, to the extent that today what we've signed is a shareholders agreement, which clearly defines the rights and obligations of each shareholder. The first shareholder is Africa 50 that has 50%, and the second one is 50% government of Rwanda through the Rwanda Development Board. And together we have 100% shares of the Innovation City. What we are going to do is to invest the initial money, which is going to be needed for infrastructure, for the first building, and then we expect to attract others to add on to what we have. And together we expect to invest $300 million, which is really going to be a significant contribution to our investment landscape. But we also expect that the investments that we're going to attract here are going to be driving exports of ICT-related products. In particular, we expect that $150 million worth of exports will come out of the Kigali Innovation City, and that's what we're working towards.
As the development partner for the Kigali Innovation City, the CEO of Africa 50 shared his views and expressed confidence in the new and one-of-a-kind innovation hub here on the continent.
Our role in KIC is really to be a co-developer for the project. So basically, we help implement the kind of activities that will make the project bankable, that will make the project attractive to investors, because indeed, KIC is certainly a project which is supported, co-developed by the government of Rwanda through RDB and the Ministry of ICT and Africa 50.
Rwanda's social and economic transformation agenda requires bold investments in innovation and technology. Claire Akamanzi, the CEO of RDB, takes us through the diversity of opportunities to be offered at KIC.
If you're into talent development, whether university or even just any type of training that you can offer, there's home for you here. If you are a large IT company doing different products in IT, there's space for you here. If you are an innovation hub, one accelerator, an incubator that is really supporting growth of startups, you have space here. If you're into financing, financial sector, whether it's venture capital, angel, or any form of funding that can support young entrepreneurs to grow, you have a home here as well. So all these are opportunities for different people. And we expect that they're all going to find very interesting opportunities to set up in the Innovation City. But we also have very specific incentives for them. We have reduced corporate income tax. In some cases, you pay 15% instead of 30%. And if you're an angel investor and you exit from an investment, you don't pay capital gains tax, you pay zero there. We have some import duty related incentives where we remove taxes on imports. for developers that are coming to bring physical infrastructure as part of the innovation city. So all these different types of incentives that really reduce the tax burden that allows investors to come here. And I must say that the innovation city is being complemented by the Kigali International Financial Center, which is also going to be bringing financial services to support the growth of our country and our continent. But Innovation City is one of the places that are going to absorb the funding that are going to come through the International Financial Center. So it's very exciting. Everything is in place, and I'll just encourage whoever is watching and is an investor, is an entrepreneur with an idea, Rwanda is open. Please come.
KIC aims to create over 50,000 jobs during the life of the project, generates about $150 million in ICT exports, and attracts over $300 million in foreign direct investment. We look at the impact that the project will have.
It's a project that delivers, a lot of impact. I think first it will create an ecosystem in Rwanda that will drive the growth of startup. And also, KIC would increase the ICT revenues for Rwanda. KIC will drive human capital development in this country and help the country move towards a knowledge-based economy, which is really a key goal for Rwanda. We believe at Africa 50 that the project has the kind of impact that we like to see in projects that we support. But we also believe that the project will provide a decent returns, appropriate returns to investors, because we want to have projects which are both impactful and providing good returns to investors. That's how we're actually going to drive those PPPs, public-private partnership projects, on the continent, especially in the ICT space.
Today, Africa is not only an emerging market, but also holds a massive potential for the utilization of its untapped resources. And Rwanda is keenly positioning itself as a gateway to the rest of Africa.
So, as any other international company, Israeli companies will come. It depends how they will be attracted to come, and what will be the conditions and the market. Now we can look at the market in a bigger way. We can look at the market with Uganda, with East Congo, and it is a bigger market that we can look. So it's either companies will come here and do the proof of concept for a product that they want to market in Africa. It's possible. That is how I see it. Israeli companies come here and do the proof of concept. And of course, we can invest more. And there are companies, and Claire Kamanzi mentioned it, there are companies who are already here. So I see a bright future. Education and health. That's it. That's the most important thing. I mean, it starts in that. Of course there are more. IT and ICT and other things, but I think we need to invest in education and in health.
To protect the interests of investors, innovators, and safeguarding the integrity of their creations, the Rwandan government is putting in place incentives and regulatory frameworks with updated and modern laws.
First of all, Rwanda is the second easiest place to do business in Africa. That says that all the aspects that an investor needs is in place. But specifically from a regulatory angle, intellectual property, we have very strong laws that support protection of intellectual property. So if you register your patent, your trademark, or any other type of intellectual property, we protect that for you. We have a very modern company law, which also provides incentives for people that want to go into either small businesses or even big businesses. Even the rights of minority shareholders are very clearly stipulated. They're protected, so they cannot be downplayed by the bigger shareholders or even the directors of a company. All those rights are regulated in the company law. And also the tax incentives also protect them so that they can actually spend money building businesses before they start paying taxes. So all these are some of the regulations that we put in place to protect investors, even the young ones, the young entrepreneurs, so that they can actually really grow. The most important thing for us is how do we create an environment for growth? So even when you come, whatever size you come, you grow. That is the opportunity we have for you here.
While the Kigali Innovation City is expected to catalyze entrepreneurial growth at a much larger scale, it is not the country's first effort in that direction. In fact, several platforms for networking, guidance, and funding have already laid the foundation for a healthy entrepreneurial environment. An example is the recent Hunger Pitch Fest, which saw about 400 applicants aiming to walk away with a piece of the total $100,000 in cash prize.
Just recently, we were celebrating innovation and entrepreneurship in a unique way, where we had the Hunger Pitch Festival. And this brought together a lot of partners. It showed us the talent that we have here in Rwanda. And the Kigali Innovation City is, again, another initiative that I believe will bring further the momentum that is being created through those programs. One of the biggest challenges that we see is the limited funding that should be available to support innovation, that should be able to support startups and grow them and scale them across the continent. The success we have seen can be sustained. The startup and the innovations that will be born will have the right investors, will have the right programming that can nurture them, scale them, and make sure that we can have economically sustained business environment.
The construction for the infrastructure of Kigali Innovation City is expected to start this year in 2022 with a projected cost of $300 million. And the master plan is crucial since it serves as the blueprint for the 61-hectare KIC site, which entails the development and construction of a mixed-use, world-class and smart innovation hub, which is aimed at developing cutting-edge solutions to help stimulate economic growth here in Rwanda and the region, as well as on a continental basis. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Doing Business in Rwanda. As you have heard in this episode, Rwanda is ready and Rwanda is open. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're with me, Narengwa Fiona Muthonits. Bye for now.